Hundreds of bodies left unclaimed in India, plus Malaysian government to launch 3 national policies. And AGONG graces investiture ceremony. Those are the headlines for tonight. You're now with me, Lorenzo Isaac, and this is TVS Nightline. Following the deadly train crash in India that took place on June 2nd, officials disclosed that more than 100 bodies were left unclaimed. The crash caused 275 casualties, which caused the Odisha government in shambles due to a shortage of morgues. Unclaimed bodies were sent to All India Institute of Medical Science in Bhubaneswar, located far apart from the crash site, about 196 kilometers. However, it was still not enough to house all the bodies.
AIIMS primarily functions as a medical college, which also has a hospital facility, including a morgue that can only house a maximum of 40 bodies. Hence, the remaining bodies were sent to other hospitals, including Capital Hospital, Amri Hospital, Some Hospital, and other private facilities. The train crash is already considered as India's deadliest train collision in more than 2 decades. Apart from the high number of live casualties, nearly 1,200 people were left injured, some with a scratch, while others needed more medical attention. The crash occurred when a passenger train hit a stationary freight train, jumped the tracks, and hit another passenger train passing in the opposite direction near the district of Balasore. Preliminary investigation indicated signal failure emerging as the likely cause of the accident.
The Malaysian government is set to launch several robust and effective national policies to address global challenges, said Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim. He stated that these policies include the National Industrial Plan, which will be launched in August, the midterm review of the 12th Malaysia Plan in late September, and the second Madani budget in October.
He stressed that these national policies are highly demanded in order to face a world still struggling with power struggles and conflicts, stagnation in a global trade and economy, and critical level of climate change and environmental issues. Anwar said this while extending his congratulations during the audience and investiture ceremony for the bestowal of honorary titles, stars and medals of the Federation at the National Palace in 2023 on Monday. In addition to economic recovery efforts, Anwar stated that the unity government is also focusing on addressing the cost of living, rising prices of goods, and ensuring food security, which has become phenomena worldwide. The finance minister explained several approaches, such as the Payung Rahmah concept, the Aidilfitri Sales Carnival, entrepreneurship, and social innovation, including initiatives for people's income as part of efforts to assist the people, which have received encouraging responses. He also affirmed that Malaysia will continue to play an active role in voicing its stance and preserving the country's interests in international forums, particularly in issues of national sovereignty, humanity, security, and disaster management.
The investiture ceremony for Federal Territories Awards, Medals and Honours took place at the Istana Negara earlier today, graced by the presence of Yang di-Pertuan Agong Al-Sultan Abdullah Riayatuddin Al-Mustafa Billah Shah. In conjunction with His Majesty's birthday celebration, it marks his last investiture ceremony as the Yang di-Pertuan Agong, as his 5-year reign will conclude this year.
Al-Sultan Abdullah, clad in the official attire of the Yang di-Pertuan Agong known as Muscat, was warmly received by Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim and his wife, Datuk Seri Dr. Wan Azizah Wan Ismail, upon arrival, accompanied by Raja Permaisuri Agong Tunku Azizah Aminah Maimunah Iskandaria. Their Majesties were escorted to the royal dais at Astana Negara Square, where they received the royal salute from the main guard of honor. The central band of the Royal Malay Regiment, RAMD, played the national anthem as the royal standard of the Yang di-Pertuan Agong was raised, followed by 21 cannon shots. The Yang di-Pertuan Agong inspected the main guard of honor and received the royal salute once again before the national anthem played once more. Subsequently, Al-Sultan Abdullah and the Raja Permaisuri Agong, accompanied by Anwar and Aziza, left the royal dais to proceed to the Balai Rung Sri for the investiture ceremony. The event was broadcasted live by the national television station. On January 31st, 2019, Al-Sultan Abdullah, then the Sultan of Pahang, took the oath of office as the Yang di-Pertuan Agong. His Majesty was elected by the Malay rulers during the 251 special meeting of the Conference of Rulers at Istana Negara on January 24th, 2019 for a 5-year term.
A special committee will be reactivated to resolve the issue of the lack of birth certificates for indigenous mothers. Sarawak's Minister for Women, Childhood and Community Wellbeing, Datuk Sri Fatimah Abdullah, revealed that this is because the average applications for temporary documents for stateless individuals in Sarawak or D6 do not meet the stipulated conditions, which include having a birth certificate for both the mother and the child.
Syarat yang tidak dapat dipenuhi antaranya ialah nombor 1, lebih umur, lebih daripada 21 tahun. Jadi ini tidak layak. Nombor 2, tiada sijil lahir. The basic certificate. Sijil lahir tak ada. Jadi kita dengan itu minta pemohon uruskan pasal sijil lahir itu. Sijil lahir, kemudian lepas itu uruskan hal permohonan untuk kewarganegaraan. Dan biasanya kita dapati anak itu tiada sijil lahir, ibunya juga tidak ada sijil lahir. Ini jadi masalah juga. Jadi kita selalu kata, okay, solve the problem of the mother first. Ini bagi pribumi. Dan dengan sebab itu kita sangat mengadu-adukan satu jawatan kuasa yang telah pernah ditubuhkan masa Datuk Joseph Entulu menjadi timbalan menteri dulu yang bertanggungjawab tentang dokumen pengenalan diri ini. Ini dah lama dah tahun 2000 berapa? 2015. Dan sekarang ini jawatan kuasa itu insya-Allah akan di pihak Kementerian Dalam Negeri telah memutuskan supaya bahawa mereka akan aktifkan semula di peringkat federal, dan juga kita di peringkat negeri juga akan berkolaborasi dalam hal ini.
She said this during a speech at the handing over of temporary documents for stateless individuals in Sarawak, the SITKS ceremony in Miri on Monday. Fatimah also informed that her ministry has received a total of 608 applications from November 1st, 2022 to May 31st, 2023, and out of that number, 209 applications have met the requirements, while 399 applications did not meet the stipulated conditions. A total of 146 applicants have received DSITKS approval from the Sarawak's Premier's Department for the first and second group on February 24th, 2023, and May 30th, 2023, respectively. From that total, 11 DSITKS recipients from the first group have been granted Malaysian citizenship status under Article 15A of the Federal Constitution on March 9th last year.
Dan akhir sekali, janji Menteri Dalam Negeri bahawa pada bulan Jun ini nanti ada kes yang di mana belum selesai dari segi belum diberi keputusan kepada permohonan kewarganegaraan, katanya by June this year. Jadi yang belum mendapat keputusan itu akan dapat keputusan. Sama ada keputusannya yes or no. Kalau gagal, if your application, jawapannya di situ gagal. Jadi boleh memohon sekali lagi. Cuma kita nak lihat di mana where did it go wrong? Sama ada borang tidak lengkap ke atau apa? Kita boleh lihat bersama. Dan bolehlah memohon sekali lagi.
During the program, 12 applicants in the Miri division have received DSITKS approval, with 11 from the Miri district and 1 from the Subis district.
To cultivate resilient and forward-thinking farmers, it is crucial to provide the Sarawak Farmers Organisation (PPNS) with a comprehensive training in agricultural commercialization and technology. The knowledge gained will empower farmers to improve the quality of their yield and enhance job productivity, hence preparing them to adapt to future geographical challenges and assuring that food security are intact. Minister of Food Industry, Commodities and Regional Development Sarawak, or MFI Court, Datuk Sri Dr. Stephen Rundi Uttom, emphasizes the need for prompt and effective training to enable both current and new PPNS farmers to achieve self-reliance and ensure their continued engagement in the industry.
Jadi tujuan kita adalah supaya PPK atau ahli-ahli pertubuhan peladang kawasan dan pertubuhan peladang negeri Sarawak untuk bukan saja belajar dari segi membuat commercial, in terms of commercialization, tetapi dari segi teknologi dan sebagainya. Jadi mereka tidak boleh jadi partner, sleeping partner. Dia mesti dengan cara mengubah pemikiran, mengatur cara membuat pekerjaan yang lebih produktif dengan kualiti yang baik, so that they be able to move faster in our endeavour to develop industrial agro industry in Sarawak. I am very pleased to see the initiative taken by PPNS, but however, I need them to learn fast enough to make sure that they are able to be independent one day.
He said this during the signing ceremony of the collaboration agreement between the Sarawak Farmers Organisation (PPNS) and the Ning Planters Sdn Bhd for the Sarawak Gold Pineapple Planting Project (SG1) on Monday. He stressed that through training and engagement in smart planting and Internet of Things (IoT), farmers can become resilient players and complete the downstream supply chain in the market. Additionally, he mentioned that trained farmers will contribute towards Sarawak's vision of becoming a leading net food exporter in the future.
The other thing is that the subject matter is, of course, food industry. We have to be very mindful of global warming and so on, the weather changing, and then pattern of how to sustain our agro business might have to change as well. And then that is nature. But we talk about geopolitical problem, potential issues in the future. That's why food security is very, very vital for us to look into. So everyone must play their role. The ministry must play their role. The department, agencies under my ministry must also play their role. The people, the farming families, farming community must also play their role. And those business entity that going into farming must play their role. It doesn't matter what they endorse into, but we need to help them to work together to produce a quality product that is sellable and marketable, not only local demand, but outside Sarawak.
PPNS, in collaboration with Ning Planters, will implement the first commercial planting project of SG1 pineapple shoots in the Tukau area starting June 2023. The project aims to supply the first certified shoots to smallholders by August 2024. This collaboration also provides technical expertise and assistance to local farmers in cultivating and developing SG1 pineapples, as well as meeting the demands for downstream pineapple products and outputs in efforts to support the growth of the pineapple industry in Sarawak and Malaysia.
The second edition of the Matu Regatta is expected to witness a much fiercer competition. It's set to be held in the near future. Jamoring Assemblyman Datuk Dr. Juwanda Jaya is optimistic that a larger scale could be organized following the overwhelming response and success of the recent mini Matu Regatta.
Kita harap Rustia bersedia untuk mengadakan regata Matu untuk siri yang kedua dalam waktu yang paling dekat yang akan datang, insya-Allah. Ya, sebabnya tahun itu kita tiada sebut kita buat pesta Matu, tapi kita buat percubaan mini regata sebagaimana kita buat pesta kaul di Igat tempoh hari, percubaan pesta kaul. Dan Alhamdulillah nampaknya percubaan ini amat berjaya.
He also acknowledged the cooperation rendered by all parties at ensuring the success of the festivals. Moreover, he stated that the participation of the local community, non-governmental organizations, and the government agencies has resulted in a remarkable success despite the festival being held on a modest scale.
Bulan lagi kah, 3 bulan lagi kah? Dan suka juga saya umum, saya banyak umum merituk lah. Ya, Tuan D.O. kita dah ada 10 biji perahu. Ya, insya-Allah kita tambah 10 lagi perahu lepas tu. Ya, biarnya ada 20 perahu, jadi cepat tidak berlomba daripada sebelah Sinun. Yang berlomba pun si sabar nak berlomba, yang menonton pun si sabar untuk melihat pertandingan ini dilaksanakan.
Juwanda added further that the football and futsal league matches will continue to be organized in order to encourage a healthier living.
5 people, including a toddler, were killed and a few others injured in a two-vehicle collision at Mile 50, Jalan Sibu Bintulu today. The deceased in the accident were identified as Marcos Marican, 26, Alicia Batripch Langi, 24, Alessandro Colin Stewart, 2, Marican Langkan Legi, 61, and another male whose identity has yet to be identified. State Fire and Rescue Department Deputy Director Operation Henry Ardimansha said the department received a distress call at 10:09 a.m. regarding the incident that involves a compact car and a sport utility vehicle SUV. Victim from the compact car, Alicia Batripch Langi, 24, was pinned on the passenger seat and was pronounced dead at the scene, while the 2-year-old toddler was pronounced dead at Selangor's health clinic. 2 teenagers were rushed to the same clinic by members of the public, while Stewart Tua, 25, suffered a minor injuries and was successfully extricated from the wreckage. Meanwhile, 3 victims from the SUV were pronounced dead at the scene: 26-year-old Marcus Marican, 61-year-old Marican Langkan Legi, and a male victim whose identity has yet to be established. 2 other victims, a man and a boy from the SUV who suffered serious injuries, were rushed to the clinic by an ambulance. Coming up right after the break, Malaysian Hajj pilgrims reached the Holy Land and Australia's notorious female serial killer freed. Right here on TVS Nightline, stay tuned. Welcome back. Yang di-Pertuan Agong Al-Sultan Abdullah Ayatuddin Al-Mustafa Billah Shah expressed deep concerns of the issue of the use of the word Allah, which he feared would become a prolonged polemic and could affect national unity and the well-being of the country if not resolved immediately. Al-Sultan Abdullah said this considering the polemic of the use of the word Allah is not a debate about terminology and linguistics, but related to the issue of the faith of the Muslim community, and any confusion will only invite disaster.
Kerajaan Beta hendaklah mengharmonikan situasi semasa dan pada masa yang sama meletakkan penggunaan kalimah Allah pada konteks yang betul dengan mengambil kira keselamatan negara, kemaslahatan ummah dan kedudukan institusi Yang di-Pertuan Agong serta Raja-Raja Melayu yang lain sebagai Ketua Agama Islam.
Accordingly, Al-Sultan Abdullah said that in dealing with such a sensitive issue, all parties should take a wise and orderly approach and be imbued with a high spirit of tolerance. The king also said that this is in line with the first principle of the Rukun Negara, which is belief in God, which, among other things, emphasizes that the concept of religion is very important in the life of the Malaysian community, and it should not be used as a basis for disputes and arguments. Meanwhile, the Yang di-Pertuan Agong said that unity requires an effective reception with an open heart, a noble soul, and a spirit of loyalty to the king and the country, as well as not questioning and interfering and looking down on the affairs and religious beliefs practiced by other races.
Demi perpaduan dan masa hadapan negara, sebarang polemik agama hendaklah diselesaikan segera. Semangat perpaduan perlu disemai serta dibentuk di rumah dan selanjutnya dibaja dan disiram dengan pendidikan serta nilai-nilai murni hidup bermasyarakat di bangku sekolah dan seterusnya diperkasa di institusi-institusi pengajian tinggi.
On May 17th, Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim announced through a statement that the Cabinet has obtained the consent of the Yang di-Pertuan Agong to submit its proposal to improve the enforcement of policies relating to the use of the word Allah by non-Muslims to the Conference of Rulers.
The annual Hajj operation for the 1444 Hijrah season is progressing smoothly, with majority of its Hajj pilgrims have arrived in Makkah since May 21st. Datuk Sri Syed Saleh Syed Abdul Rahman, the head of the Malaysian Hajj delegation, said that out of the 16,863 pilgrims, 11,294 are currently accommodated in 12 hotels in Makkah, while the remaining pilgrims are staying in 3 hotels in Medina. Syed Saleh disclosed that a total of 57 flights, which is 58% of the overall 98 flights, have departed from Kuala Lumpur International Airport to transport pilgrims to the Holy Land. Meanwhile, it was also reported that 31 pilgrims have been admitted to the Tabung Haji TH Treatment Center, while 5 others are receiving medical care at Saudi Arabian hospitals. All 36 pilgrims are reported to be in stable condition. More than a dozen students in Tokyo held up mirrors to their faces while stretching the sides of their mouth upward, fully immersed in a lesson not in their usual curriculum, a smile class. As more Japanese embrace the post-COVID era by removing their masks, there has been a notable increase in interest for the services offered by Keiko Awano's company, a Gaiko, or literally Smile Education.
家に一人でいる時には表情を動かさないことが、割と普通になっています。そうすると、あまり表情を動かすっていうことが動かさないことが当たり前になってしまう。で、コロナ禍だとよりそういうのが多かったと思います。
Even before the pandemic, wearing a mask was normal in Japan, especially around exams due to concern of getting ill before a big life event. Few students of the class are taking the course as part of the school's courses to prepare for the job market.
コロナであんまり顔をしばらく動かしてなかったのでちょっと顔のいい運動になりました。
意識的に自分の表情を見ながら笑顔を作っていくのが新しい体験で、これから自分で笑顔になるシーンで自分がどんな表情なのかちょっと考えながらすることが増えるかなって思いました。
就活っていうものには絶対に活かせると思いますし、やっぱり就活っていろんな人が来るわけで。やっぱり最初の初対面の印象っていうのはすごく大事だなと思うので。
Kawano said that Egao Iku has seen a more than fourfold jump in demand from last year, with customers ranging from companies seeking more approachable salespeople and even local governments looking to improve their residents' well-being. An hour-long private lessons cost 7,700 yen, which is around 252 ringgit. And to date, Kawano has trained 23 people as smiling coaches in order to spread the virtues and techniques of a perfect smile.
A mother condemned as Australia's worst female serial killer has been pardoned after serving 20 years behind bars for killing her 4 children in what appears to be one of the country's gravest miscarriages of justice. New South Wales Attorney General Michael Daly intervened to order Kathleen Folbig to be freed based on the preliminary findings of an inquiry that had found reasonable doubt as to her guilt for all 4 deaths.
In the absence of firm forensics evidence, prosecutor had argued that it was extremely unlikely for 4 children would suddenly die without explanation. But retired Judge Tom Bathurst, who led the inquiry, said subsequent investigations uncovered medical conditions that could account for 3 of the deaths.
And so, considering Mr Bathurst's conclusion that he is firmly of the view that there is reasonable doubt as to Ms Folbig's guilt, I consider that his reasons establish exceptional circumstances of the kind that weigh heavily in favour of the grant of a free pardon, and that in the interest of justice, Ms Folbig should be released from custody as soon as possible. And so, this morning at 9:30 I met with the Governor. I recommended that the Governor should exercise the royal prerogative of mercy and grant Ms Folbig an unconditional pardon. The Governor agreed. Ms Folbig has now been pardoned.
Bathurst said Sarah and Laura Folbig possess a rare genetic mutation, while Patrick Folbig may have an underlying neurogenic condition. Given these factors, Bathurst found the death of Caleb Folbig was also no longer suspicious. Previously, Kathleen Folbig was convicted in 2003 of 3 counts of murder and 1 count of manslaughter, spanning a 10-year period from 1989. Despite being the one to discover their lifeless bodies, no conclusive physical evidence linked her to their deaths, further casting doubt on her guilt.
And that is all the news for TVS Nightline. I'm Lorenzo Isaac. Thank you for watching.